Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy Midweek Motivation with John and Carly. Hey.
Midweek Motivation.
Let's go!
I think heartburn.
Heartburn.
Right?
That's what it is. It's heartburn.
Heartburn medicine.
Welcome to Midweek Motivation.
Welcome.
Alka-Seltzer is for heartburn. I could not remember for the life of me
No free
what it was
shout-outs.
for. No free shout-outs.
No free shout-outs.
None at all. Actually, I do have one free shout-out that we're going to throw out here in a minute when I remember, so don't let me forget.
Okay.
Number one, first of all, thank you for bringing that mug. I appreciate good old
You're
Ann
welcome.
Arbor. A squared. in
A
case you're
squared,
wondering.
you know what that means.
Yeah.
Ann Arbor. And if you don't know what it means, sorry, you're not part of the club.
Go blue. Eventually, I think we're just to have a Michigan episode one day.
And we'll
One of
have
these days.
nobody watch it.
Yeah. Well, Christine will watch it. We'll probably just have to have Christine on the show. And then, we can just be for the three of us and we can put it out into the world.
Yeah.
Nobody can watch it. That's okay.
That's fair.
Well, hey, welcome to Midweek Motivation. Real conversations with real people about a very real God. Sunday was Father's Day. We had a great Father's Day Sunday here in the house and online. Thank you so much for all of you that joined us and worshiped with us online and in the house. Men, if you were here on Father's Day, all the men over 18, we had a gift for you that looks exactly like this cool mug down here that I was advertising this on pre-show on Sunday, and I held it up, and it was so out of focus, and
Yeah.
it's backwards. I was like, "Look at the verses on it."
As you all can see, that's what it says.
It's backwards and out of focus, so completely useless. Didn't do any good. So, really great mug, by the way, fantastic.
It is a good mug.
And if Steffi told me this cool little secret about it. We gave away very similar mugs to this for Mother's Day to all the ladies that were over 18. And if you look at the design of them and compare them, they're actually designed to stack together really, really well. Like, look at this lip that's on here. Isn't that fantastic?
Fantastic.
And we're not even selling this, but we could totally
Fantastic.
sell this.
Yeah.
We probably should
Yeah.
sell this, actually.
Well,
Maybe one day.
One day.
Maybe we'll throw that in there.
One
But
day.
so, men, if you're watching and you weren't here Sunday and you want to get one of these, I think there's some left. I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. But if you put anywhere in the chat mug, we will send this to you at no cost. We will get in touch with you, or you can swing by. You can pick one up. But we'd love to be able to bless you with one of these. Get one of these in your hand. I've been drinking out of this for like 2 weeks because the boxes may have been sitting outside of our office for a little while. And
I may have gotten an early
I may have
early nap.
grabbed one early, mostly because, and it's not even good reason, right? So I have my nice Black Rifle mug that I usually keep in my office.
Right.
It was all the way up here on the third floor, and it was too far away, and I didn't want to walk up to the third floor to get my empty coffee mug,
yeah.
take it back
Yeah.
down to the break room, fill it up with coffee, and that's just too much work.
Well,
So I may have grabbed one out of the box right outside the office, and taken my Father's Day gift early. That seems okay, right? I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Steffi didn't seem to mind. She said it was okay. So shout out to Steffi.
Yeah.
If Steffi says to do it, I think that's a good indicator that you're probably okay.
Does no free shout-outs apply to Steffi?
No, Steffi works here,
All
so
right.
that's fine.
You get a pass, Steph.
Yes. I will shout out one of our good friends, Tanya Blankenship, camera volunteer
Tanya.
extraordinaire, one of the best camera operators we have. She was sharing a story with us. One, she blessed our staff the other day. We'll give her a shout out. She blessed our staff the other day, Monday in staff meeting, with some cupcakes and some cake to celebrate our new senior pastor. Which, man, we've got to make him a sign that says senior pastor at some point. We've got to do something for him.
Just bring him a free cup of black coffee every morning. Like, you made it.
A
You're now
new
a senior.
our newly elected. I guess he was elected.
That's true.
Overwhelmingly elected senior pastor, officially stepping into the role. He's handled a lot of that responsibility for a long time, but now it's official. We've officially passed the torch from a great leader in Pastor John to a great leader in Dustin. So Tanya was cool enough to celebrate that with us, and she brought us cupcakes and cake to our staff meeting, and fully prepared, with napkins and plates and good forks. not like the cheap little forks that bend when you put it in
didn't break. They didn't snap as soon as you cut your cake.
Right? It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Good shout out to her. But she shared a really cool story with us, and she shared it a little bit with us before, but her parents actually worship with us online every single week. They're not able to get out from where they are and be able to come to church very easily, so they worship with us every single week. And so she was telling us how grateful that she is for that they are for our online ministry. And so I say that to say this. I want you to understand why we put everything online as much as we do. It's not because we want to just be famous and I want to be a YouTuber that's famous and have people recognize me, because nobody does, but everybody recognizes Carly's white glasses.
That's true.
Multiple times I've been out to eat with Carly, and people come up to me like, "Are you the pastor at that church up on the mountain? I recognize your white glasses."
Trademark.
In fact, the first time Carly and I ever sat down and hung out was at Denny's down the hill, and or no, it was Waffle. No, it was Waffle House.
Either way you go, it's an O.
And a lady recognized him for his white glasses.
That's awesome.
But we have right around 600 people on average every single week that worship along with us online. So we're so grateful for all of you that do. And that's the other reason we do Midweek Motivation, is to be able to connect with our midweek family. And wow, there was going to be...
I heard y'all talking about me.
That was like probably the best, almost most serious moment of the show. Like in weeks. And he just completely ruined it.
He's not wearing white glasses anymore. I broke them.
Oh, you did break them, didn't you?
I broke them. I broke them with a pugil stick at the bouncy place.
You broke it, did his glasses.
I broke it in your glasses. Yes, I did.
But yeah, shout out to our online congregation. Thank you so much for worshiping with us each and every week. What's cool is we even have people that worship with us in other states that are inviting people from other states.
Yes,
to worship
invite
along
your
with
friends,
us.
Please get the word out.
Yeah, it's so cool, and I love that we have that opportunity to be able to connect with people and worship, because if God can break through and speak through speakers and screens and in the house, and break through thick-minded dumb people like me, like certainly He can probably use the internet. To speak to people.
I'd say
right?
so.
I want to encourage you, be sharing our services and all of our content online. We don't put it out. We don't make money from it, in case you're wondering. Like, we're not like getting money from views. Like, even this, nobody would buy this anyways. So
I mean, I would
too.
I like to
and
hear
I
us
don't know.
talk.
I don't really know why. I think it's because it's us.
Probably.
But
people know us better.
Yes. Well, my mom watches, and that's good enough for me. So hi,
thanks,
Mom.
Darren's
Thanks
mom.
for watching. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
But
yeah.
But we'd love for you to share all of our content online. We put it out there, just try to add some good to the world, because how many of you know there's like terrible things on the internet? Like, the internet is basically an awful thing. Are you watching the playback right now?
Yeah, I'm watching. Sorry. I'm distracted.
For those of you that don't know, we're on a delay, so when we say something, it doesn't get to you till about 2 minutes, because that's how long it has to take. It takes time for the hamster to spin up the wheel and send it across.
And we have
internet.
a really old hamster.
Yeah, it takes time. So we were just watching Carly come in and bother us just as you saw it, which you're seeing now about 2 minutes later, us talking about it. But that's a weird timing thing, right?
It is.
You ever realize that we actually start the show before noon?
Yes.
That way it gets to people. It's funny.
Yeah.
Nobody realizes.
I noticed.
It's magical.
But I'm also
Magical
a smart
TV.
guy, and I kind of notice things like that.
A smart guy. Something happens when you shave your head. It's like all of the brain waves now are just free to breathe.
Well, it's a free 10.
It's
a free 10 IQ points. So I've heard.
And I think I got smarter somewhere north of 30. I think I got slightly wiser.
That does happen. I mean, there's something happens between 28 and 35 where it's just like, I feel wise.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because you've been through more life experiences. I think that's probably more so than anything. And you have the experience of raising kids, and after you hit each tier of childhood, watching them grow up and raising them and pulling more and more hairs out of your head to force yourself to be bald. You think to yourself, you're pretty wise. You've been through it. So, yes, the golden age. We are in the golden age.
We can call it that. Let's say we're in the golden age.
Yes.
That sounds like fun. We just took Hudson last week, 2 weeks ago, to register for classes for high school.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, and now he's talking about driving. So parents of teenagers that have driven and have made it through high school, if you wouldn't mind, just for my own edification, just throw a little bit of encouragement in the chat for us. Give us a little bit of love for some dads that aren't quite there yet.
Tell him it will get better, even if it won't.
I gotta believe it'll get better, right? Although I'm not gonna lie, it's not that bad right now. It's pretty great. It's a lot of fun. Our kids are good kids. They have a great mom. That's why they're so good. Shout out to my wife who's watching with us, probably freezing in her office.
Shout out to Courtney for sharing the Midweek Motivation online and tagging you and me in it.
What?
Look at us. We are Facebook famous now, and I expect somebody to get me a mug with my face on it.
Oh, well, we could probably make that happen. It's not going to be very impressive.
Or at least socks with my face.
Socks with your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd put your face on my feet. That'd be fine. I'd do that. That'd be all right. Be like
Another news.
I feel like I'm kicking you constantly. That could be worse. When you say smart guy, my brain goes to 90s sitcom theme songs for smart guy. Bronx says, what up, dudes? Andrew is watching from Covington. Andrew, good to see you, brother. Thanks for
They have
being
internet
a part
in
of our
Covington?
team. They do have internet in Covington.
Whoa.
Dude, they have internet in Sierra Leone, West
Just
Africa.
kidding.
They have, you know what they also have in Sierra Leone, West Africa? Cell phones. Everybody's got them. Everybody.
Well, I mean, the technology now for cell phones is so old. It's been around so long. You almost really do have to be in the dark ages
That's
to
what I'm
not have
saying.
access to a phone somewhere.
Yeah, it's funny. We did have to explain to our kids one day why we used to have to go to the kitchen to make a phone call.
With the long cord stretching around the house.
They couldn't comprehend that. And look, we're not that old. Like cell phones were pretty new.
We thought it was cool when we had the wireless phone system for the landline.
Right? That was
taking
cool.
it off the base. Like, yes, I could go across the house and nobody will hear what I'm saying.
It's funny. So I had one of my best friends in the world, been friends since 5th grade. We grew up a street apart for years until I had to move out into a different part of the city. So for years, we grew up a street apart. And it was not a great neighborhood except for our two streets, right? Everything else was a little ghetto. But our two streets were pretty safe. So we would, ride our bikes back and forth, hang out at each other's house, all that stuff. But we would, call each other on the landline. And then, right, this is before cell phones. So I think our parents probably had cell phones, but we got these radios, and they had like a 2-mile range, and we were, obviously inside of that range. So we would talk back and forth on those radios from our house. It was the coolest thing. And it's funny is I found those radios in our basement a few weeks ago, and
That's cool.
I put new batteries in them, and they still work.
Oh.
Yeah. So shout out to my buddy Jeff. He's
All right.
he's a big time pilot now. I think he flies for Delta. All those things. He's living the dream he and I both shared. We both wanted to be pilots, and I do a podcast on the internet, and he flies people across the country. So,
Well,
who's really winning, Jeff?
To be fair, I wanted to be an Air Force pilot.
Right, me too.
And I found out, well, you're blind, so why would we let you fly multi-million-dollar aircraft?
What was
And
the
I
plane
couldn't
you wanted
argue
to fly?
with it. I wanted to fly the Raptor, the F-22.
Dude, that's a
The
freaky
best
plane.
plane ever made in history.
F-35 is pretty acrobatic as well.
Yeah.
But the F-22 was like the first real acrobatic one.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
The original.
That's not what we're here for.
No, we're not. Sorry.
I did
Yes.
not know that you wanted to do that.
Well, that's why I
Discovering new
settled
things
for the
about you.
Marine Corps, because they accepted big, blind, dumb idiots like myself. So,
Well, and we thank you for doing that. We appreciate you. Let's see. Oh, what are we here for?
well, we're here to talk about, a very real God with real people.
That's
Yes.
it.
But
Before we get there, there's some things that you should know about. Something happening this week.
if you like freedom, then do we have something for you?
We should
Take it
totally
away,
do these
Darren.
like ad reads. That's how we're going to do these announcements. Coming soon to a church near you.
Friday. Freedom Conference.
That was pretty solid.
Thank you.
We could do the ad reads.
I need to audition for the monster truck announcements.
Sunday. We just blew somebody's eardrums out. Way to go. Yes, coming up this Friday, our second annual Freedom Conference. It's this Friday and Saturday, the 20th and 21st. I have no idea what time, but if you go to parkerroanoke.com/Freedom Conference, it'll tell you all the information there. The last year was a great time. We didn't have as many people as wanted. I think Carly said we got like 45 people signed up this year.
That's more than double what we had last.
It's going to be a good time. It was. I love the way Carly described it this year. It's like a mini revival.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. So we had a great time in worship, great time in teaching, good time of fellowship. There was food last year. We're going to do some baptisms. It's going to be a great time. It's a very special, little more intimate type of service, something we don't get to do very often, kind of on this level. So definitely come join us if you've been interested in what freedom is at all, or if you're just in the mood for some good worship this weekend and just a little mini revival. We'd love for you to come to Freedom Conference. A lot of our team is speaking. You might have to listen to Carly just a little bit, but he's got a lot of other people that are bringing the word as well. So it'll be a good time. So definitely come join us this weekend for Freedom Conference, and then in two weeks. Two-ish?
Wow!
Is it
already
3 weeks?
2 weeks?
When does it count?
Great.
July the 6th is a Sunday. Is our annual Freedom Sunday. We are celebrating the 4th of July just a little bit late. Because we figured we should do it on Sunday. So celebrate on Friday with some fireworks somewhere, and then come on Sunday at 9 and 10:30. We'll have worship service. We'll have probably some special things in the service as well. But then the highlight of that service is always the outdoor baptisms that'll take place after the 10:30 service. There's nothing like baptisms outdoors and people all gathered right around. Because when we do them in the house, they're real big and celebratory, but they're always so far away. Right? It's always a little sad. So we'll have just this whole big mob of people surrounding the baptism tank, and we'll get to celebrate baptism. We got several signed up. So if you're interested in... Thank you, Brunk. I can hear it. If you're interested in getting baptized on that day, you can go to parkerroanoke.com/baptism. That'll connect you with Cassidy, and she'll be sure to get you signed up. It's always a good time.
And I do believe there's a barbecue competition.
There's a barbecue competition there, which was a big hit last year. They might be looking for judges, so let us know. You can text that number on the screen, 540-900-3838, if you're interested in being a part of that barbecue contest as a judge or as an entrant. They might still be looking for people. I don't know. They don't tell us stuff. No. But if you text that number, I will find out for you and let you know. But yeah, barbecue competition. We did watermelon eating contest last year too.
That was a success. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say our friend Levi Phillips was a part of it. If not, I don't think he won, but I think he was close. Yeah. I think he was.
Did Sean win?
Working hard? Sean might have been in that.
Why do I feel like Sean won that?
And it's been a year, and I've slept since then, so it's hard to say.
It's hit or miss. If you're the day after what happened with me, it's hit or miss.
It's hard to say, but it's a good time. I did see something about flamingo racing.
Oh boy,
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
So I'll tell you what.
But it sounds exciting.
If nothing else, come for flamingo racing, whatever that is. In fact, can you Google what flamingo racing is?
I got you.
I really have to know. I'm kind of curious, and maybe I guess we'll get to it before they will, because they haven't heard me say this yet. But flamingo racing apparently is going to be a thing. There was last year we had the big old foam thing. Mm-hmm. There was axe throwing and all sorts of stuff. So definitely come out. It's be a great time. We'd love to have you for Freedom Sunday on July the 6th. Do we find out what flamingo racing is?
I don't know. Well, Google AI suggests that it's a fun, humorous activity involving a toy or stuffed flamingo doing races. So, you know what? If you want to know what a flamingo race is, you might want to just show up on the 6th to find out.
I mean, in my head, I'm hoping we have actual flamingos that will be racing.
I doubt it.
That's kind of what I'm seeing in my head, and I don't think I want to clean up after that.
For some reason, when I think flamingo racing, I picture an ostrich just running towards me.
I mean, a flamingo is basically an ostrich.
It's a smaller ostrich with a shorter beak.
But they're pink.
And pink.
They're definitely pink.
Way less feathers.
Right.
Anyway,
What's the bird study person? What are that? Ornithologists. We are not ornithologists. Yeah.
my
Dude,
man, I did
right?
not know that.
So Brunk and I were talking earlier today about what happened to that part of our brain that could remember phone numbers, because nobody remembers new phone numbers hardly
I
anymore.
still remember
Like,
our original.
what are you
landline.
using that part of your brain for now? That's it.
To
by the
remember the same number.
right? It's to remember the word ornithologist, right? And other useless things like that. But yes, come be a part of Freedom Conference, be a part of Freedom Sunday, July the 6th. You're not going to want to miss it. Mostly, I want to figure out what flamingo racing is,
Yes.
right? All right, Trevor, let's get to our main event today.
Sweet.
We did just celebrate Father's Day. Happy belated Father's Day to you, good sir.
You as well.
Good to have you here. Always good to hang out with you.
Mhm.
You and I have very different experiences of being dads, right? Because you
True.
have all girls,
All girls.
and I have all sons, and it's I feel like it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But I feel like we've both had good examples as dads, right? We're both blessed that way. And
Shout out Lynn Worley.
Yep, shout out Glenn Chilson. Way to go. He doesn't ever watch this show, by the way. I should make that clear.
My dad doesn't
My
either.
mom watches this show, dare I say, religiously. My dad, I'm not sure, has ever watched this show. But in fairness, he didn't murder me when I was a child, like I probably should have been. So we'll give him a pass. Probably because of my mom, in truth. That's probably it. That's probably the reason I've survived all these years. But, I was thinking about dads, and, we grew up in an era where there were a lot of great TV dads to watch. And I thought, who is the best TV dad, right? The number one of all of them. And then I found out you didn't watch enough TV growing up like I did. Right?
I watched a lot of TV, just not the same TV.
Well, you apparently did not watch good TV when
there's
we were
only
growing up.
one show on here we talked about that I didn't watch.
And I'm very disappointed in you, right?
wow.
So, and this isn't going to work quite the way I wanted to because, the tech guy didn't think about the fact that my camera can't see bright white screen. So this is not going to work. So I did make this really official bracket. Comment if you can see anything that I wrote. Because you can't, and that's okay.
It looks beautiful.
It looks horrid.
I mean, look at
right?
it.
From here, it looks great, right? From here, it looks less great. But you know what? That's not what they pay. Actually, this is exactly
This
what
is
they pay me
exactly
for.
what they pay
This is
you for.
exactly
What are
the
you
kind of thing they pay me for. So you're just going to have to trust us and imagine this bracket. You can draw this bracket out for yourself. Probably not if you're driving. If you're doing work and just
Oh,
kind
you know
of listening,
what?
maybe don't do this.
I can type out the competitions.
Oh yeah,
if
let's
you'd
do
like.
that. All right, we'll throw it in the chat. So here's the pairings. All right, so I seeded these with some commonality in mind, and I'm curious if you're playing at home. Curious if you can pick up on it. See if you can pick up the connections between these. All right. So I thought through, and I had to Google some of these to make sure I was not missing them. But we have 8 TV dads that I have narrowed down and seeded myself in my own infinite wisdom of who the best 8 TV dads are. Now this is a collection of like 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't think anything really past the 90s. Definitely not past. Well, I mean, it's continued. But so we're going to run through these, and we're going to see bracket style, March Madness style, single elimination. Who is the number one TV dad? All right, so here's our first pairing. All right, so if you're playing along at home, I'd love for you to throw some comments and some chit-chat in the chat for us on who you think is the better TV dad. So number one, we have Danny Tanner, right, from Full House, versus Mr. Mike Brady from, of course, the Brady Bunch. Okay, now I put these guys together because these are like the nicest dads on the planet.
Yeah, it depends on who they're talking to.
Right? They both had, spouses that they had lost. Right? Right? So great. See, look at the connection. Isn't that amazing? Of course, I called it out, and of course, nobody was going to pay attention to it anyway. It's okay. So, Danny Tanner versus Mike Brady. Now, this is a show, you've seen both of these shows, right, Trevor?
Yes.
Okay, so Danny Tanner, right, he's got 3 girls? 3 girls? 3 girls.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 girls. And he's raising as a single dad, right? Mike Brady, 3 sons. Right? The sons were his? I think the sons were his. The sons were all his.
Yeah.
And there's a song that I'm not going to sing. And I think the girls were all carols, right?
Ashley knows the song. Yes.
Ashley, can you pipe in and sing it for us real quick?
Yeah.
Or just type out all the lyrics. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome if she sung it for us.
What are the odds she's actually watching right now? Because I keep watching our viewership.
50-50. It keeps going down. Doesn't it?
It does
The more
keep
we
going
talk, the less viewers we have.
Oh, that's kind of like my life with my wife. The more I talk, the less she listens. Understandably so. That's all right. So Danny Tanner versus Mike Brady. Now, you've seen both these shows. Both great dads, right? Inarguably great dads.
Yes.
What do you think? Who's a better dad? And definitely jump into the comments. Let us know who you think is a better dad.
I think there's nobilities to both. I think something that makes Mike Brady unique is he took in 3 girls that were not his own, and he was still a boss dad. You know what I'm saying? He was there for him, very affectionate when he needed to be, and stuff like that. And Danny Tanner is just your typical run-of-the-mill, old-fashioned girl dad.
Yeah.
Always knew the right thing to say.
Can I tell you, I'm really regretting that I put these two together now.
I know. Like, how dare you?
That was a terrible mistake.
How dare you? These are like the top 2, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, these definitely should have been the top 2, but
that's unfair.
that's all right.
Wow.
I did these
1
before.
versus the 8 seed.
My apologies.
Grief.
Next time I do this, I'll seed them better.
Well,
so I think I'm going to go with Mike Brady.
okay.
I'm thinking Mike Brady.
Yeah.
And let us know in the comments what you think, if you think Danny Tanner was better. I'm going to go with Mike Brady because not only did he have to was he raising his boys on his own, but then he also took on that role as stepdad.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I know a lot of great stepdads. That is not an easy role.
No.
Right? That is a very challenging role. So shout out to all you stepdads that are being great dads in a very, very challenging role. I've got several of those guys that are in my inner circle that it's like I've been a dad for a long time, and my experience of being a dad doesn't necessarily translate the same way, right? They have different challenges. So it's been cool to watch and learn kind of how they parent their kids as well. So all right, we're going to give that to Mike Brady. And I'm writing this down that you can't see, but that's okay. All right, so next one. We're going to have to make these go faster. This one I think is a little bit easier. So here's the next one is Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin.
Oh.
All right, now if you don't know what either of those shows are, you're probably holier than
Good
Trevor.
for you. Yes.
So that's okay. But these are both animated dads.
Holier than Trevor.
I was just seeing if you were paying attention. That's fine. So Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin.
Both very bad dads.
Both bad dads, right? Not great dads.
I'll give you my vote. Homer is probably the better of the 2.
Yeah, both foul language, right? Probably not the best at, showcasing a responsible lifestyle. That's a pretty easy one for me. I'm with you. I think it's Homer. Because Homer has these great moments of like real love for his family.
Yeah.
And then of course, he's less great. But so we're going to give that to Homer. Again, I'm writing this. You can't see because, it looks like that. So learning opportunity from there. Now, Courtney, sorry, we went with Mike Brady. Andy Taylor, good old Andy Griffith. Right, versus Carl Winslow from Family Matters, right? Now, did you watch Andy Griffith or Family Matters?
Andy Griffith.
All right, so you've seen Andy Griffith.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been to Mayberry?
No, but I've heard that it's a
Fantastic.
nice little,
Cool little place. Great place to be. We went and visited there for a day, a couple like 2 years ago, something like that. Cool place to be. It's fun.
Apparently
Everything.
one of them was still alive. I don't know if they are now, but there's still one of the original cast that's still around.
Yeah, I think Don Knox passed away. I could be wrong. I don't know. Let us know if any of the cast is still alive. But and then Carl Winslow, of course, another law enforcement officer. Are they in L.A., San Francisco? Full House is San
Somewhere over there in
Francisco.
Cali, I
They're
think.
definitely in California. I can't remember. But he's probably L.A. So he was a police officer.
Really?
And interestingly enough, there's great fan theories out there about how he's the same character that the actor Carl Winslow plays in Die Hard. Great fun fan theories about that. Also a cop, not a coincidence. So both those guys, great dads. that's a little tough, man. It's hard to beat Andy Griffith. I'm struggling to figure out if anybody could beat Andy Griffith.
Well, he was also a single dad. I mean, he had Aunt B to help him.
It's true.
But he did all of this while being a single father.
Right, but then we got Carl. Carl also takes on Urkel, and is kind of a good father figure to him.
I'm going
a tough
Andy
one.
Tan.
I think I'm going to go Andy Griffith.
Good grief, Andy Taylor.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't know.
Gracious, I can't talk.
I don't know
I can't
why I put
fight.
Andy Taylor. Nobody knows him as Andy Taylor. He's Andy Griffith. All right, so we're gonna go. I'm making him Andy Griffith. Andy Griffith wins, right?
Yeah.
100%. Honorable mention: Carl Winslow. I did not. I put these together wrong. I seeded these terribly. All right, now we're gonna get to the one that I'm disappointed that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
Alan Matthews.
You mean Jonathan?
Yes. The number of times his name gets said, it is only gets said by Mr. Feeney a couple of times, and to my recollection, and by his wife, and his wife always says it in this like typical spouse way, like trying to get him to do something. Alan, right? So our friend Alan Matthews, dad extraordinaire from Boy Meets World. One of the greatest shows of the 90s.
Debatable.
Shout out TGIF.
Debatable.
One of the greatest shows. It's fantastic. And you know what? You missed out in your 90s
I only watched good shows.
and you apparently didn't because you didn't watch Boy Meets World.
Couldn't have been that good if I wasn't watching it.
So our good friend Alan Matthews, great dad from Boy Meets World, shout out TGIF, and Philip Banks.
Uncle Phil!
Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which Trevor will now sing the entire theme song and go.
No, I will mess it up. I'm sorry.
Next week?
I love that song. Maybe next week.
Okay, next week. I'll be gone next week, so you should do that.
Well.
The whole show could just be you singing theme songs from.
You're going to have to teach me how to get all this equipment ready because I have no idea what to do.
We could just do a whole show of just you singing theme songs.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Everywhere we look, everywhere.
There's
Thank you for also singing, so you didn't leave me hanging.
Somebody
And the
who
Brady Bunch
needs
theme
you.
song is what's sticking in my head. I'm trying to think of it.
This is the story.
Of a lovely lady. Oh, a man named Brady. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, not Tom. It's
Yes.
Mike. Anyways, Alan Matthews versus Philip Banks. What do you think? Obviously, you're going to go Uncle Phil because you don't
Obviously.
know.
I mean, I love Uncle Phil.
Alan,
It's
right?
awesome.
So here's the deal. Both of these guys became father figures to children who were not their own, right? Uncle Phil,
Ne'er-do-wells.
took in Will and ne'er-do-wells. Ooh. You know what? You are much more cultured than the average Marine.
Thank you.
Way to go.
I don't know if
Thank
I should
you
be
for that.
offended or not.
Well, the Marine Corps
Well,
should
I
be
didn't
offended,
consume
so
that many crayons. Thank you, sir.
I apologize. I have nothing but respect for
Only
the
the
Marine
ones that
Corps.
smell good.
I'm just going to say Trevor is a shining example of what the Corps stands for. Probably slightly more cultured. But, there's other moments too. So,
Right.
all right. So they both took care of guys, young men, and were great examples to young men who didn't have great father figures,
I think
right?
I'll let you
Our
go
friend
on this
Sean, Corey's best friend. Hey, our viewership went back up just a little bit.
Hey.
That's exciting. Way to go. What a day.
Welcome.
Don't know why, but we might agree to disagree with this one. So we might have to wait for somebody to break the tie in the comments. So we're gonna let somebody break the tie in the comments because I'm going with our friend Alan Matthews.
All right. Alan or Phil, let us know. Well, if we say let us know in the chat, we're going to be delayed.
Well, we're gonna be late, but we're
Let's-
gonna move on to the other ones, and we'll come
Wait a
back
minute.
to it.
Well, then we can't have a true Final Four. I'm trying to post the Final
Well,
Four.
we're almost there. Let's do the other one. We'll get to the other one. So yeah, let us know in the chat. Break the tie for us. Who is a better TV dad, Alan Matthews or Philip Banks, aka Uncle Phil? So
I do have an input.
Mhm.
Did Alan ever throw temper tantrums?
all right. So here's the moment that wins Alan Matthews over for me. Right? There's an episode, one of the greatest episodes of all time. Okay, where our favorite ne'er-do-well, thank you, Trevor, for teaching us that word. Sean is getting pulled into this cult, and Alan, who's been kind of a surrogate dad to this kid most of his life, he's been best friends with his kid, shows up and is talking to this cult leader and like shoves him against the wall and like this great speech about like, you know, you're going after empty-headed kids that are weak and looking for things, and that's not Sean, and you know, I'll kill to protect Sean. Great, it's a great moment. Like he's about to fight. It's that strength that dads need to have, right,
Sounds
for their
to me
kids.
like he's the winner here,
bro.
in
I'm
my
gonna tell you
personal
right
opinion.
now. Are you submitting? Are we jumping in? Now,
I mean, I guess I'll take your word for it. I trust you.
Now, there's another episode. I'll defend Uncle Phil on this one, where his kids. Well, actually, one of the best one is when he's. Man, there's so many good ones. We can't even get into one. Okay,
I know what episode you're talking about.
it's
Yeah.
all of them. The one where he hustles him as a pool shark. That's one of the best ones. The one where he bails Will out of jail, right, and goes like super powered judge on the local cops that arrested them on false pretenses. Fantastic. The one where Will's dad let him down, and Uncle Phil comforts him.
Oh man, dude, that one rips you apart every time you
TV
watch.
was
it, dude.
better in the 90s.
It's
right?
so much better.
And I don't care how old it makes me feel and sound to say that.
Yeah.
TV was better in the 90s.
Way
It was
better.
just absolutely better. All right. So, you know what? Now that I'm naming those, I think I'm going to go with Uncle Phil.
Oh man,
I think I'm switching. I think I'm changing. So no need to break the tie. I'm curious
Okay.
what'll come out. But maybe we can go back to the comments
Wow.
later and redo these. But I think I'm going to go with Uncle Phil.
All right, there's
right,
your
so here's
final
our
four
final
bracket,
four.
guys.
Right. So we've got Mike Brady. This is taking longer than I thought. It's okay. We got some good things to get to today, too. Mike Brady versus Homer Simpson. Look, that's not even a conversation.
No.
Mike Brady obviously wins, right?
Yeah.
I got to seed these better next time we do this. All right. So Mike Brady obviously wins. If you disagree, come at us in the chat. I don't think so. And then we've got Andy Griffith versus Uncle Bill. Good heavens, man. I'm leaning towards Uncle Phil. What?
Man.
Walk down the hill. Levi walked down the hill. Levi, if you don't bring us some fries.
Yeah. First of all, you're going to mention Wendy's and not bring us food.
Yeah,
that's
that's cold.
That's a pretty low blow.
It's like, I don't think people realize, like, this. We do this show during your lunchtime, right? Which happens to be our lunchtime. So we starve ourselves
Starving
next
right
to
now.
a smorgasbord of snacks.
That's true.
that
I
are
almost
just
asked you to
out of
hand me
frame.
them Nerds clusters.
I mean, I thought about it, but that sounds terrible.
Anyway, thank you for your fandom, though. You
Yes.
are our number one.
Thank
fan.
you, Levi. We do love you. We do appreciate you.
Yeah.
You are that one viewer that pays attention every single week. We're so honored by that.
And thanks for
so-
interrupting us in the middle
Yeah,
of something.
thanks for that. We were actually on topic and focused briefly.
And this man actually said Uncle Phil's a better dad than Andy Griffith. So we need to like get everybody's opinion on this. I
Yes.
think we've given them time to let that stew.
I sure hope so. So if you're, so we've got Andy Griffith is the single dad, right? So he's living the single dad life. That's got its own challenge. Shout out to all you single dads, all you
Right.
single parents in general. Shout out to all of you doing double duty. I am fortunate enough that I do not have that experience, and I'm so grateful, so grateful that, and my kids are going to be much better for it, because good heavens, I don't know what my house would be like without my wife. It would be a mess.
Yeah.
Like not just the cleaning, but just a general mess, like disorganized, compassionless. It would be
Like
it would
Uncle Phil's house would be without Mr. What's his name? Bates? What's the cleaning
Jeffrey.
dude? Jeffrey.
I was thinking Jeeves, and that was a website
Without
in the 90s.
yes, it was. That was Google before Google existed. Yes, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Their house
Good
would be a
old
wreck
Jeffrey.
without Jeffrey. Was awesome.
Jeffrey. Now here's a real question: was Jeffrey actually British, or was he faking it the whole time? Because I'm pretty confident he was faking it. Levi, you're already back, and you still didn't bring us fries. I'll tell you what, Levi.
I don't smell
you can
Wendy's
walk
right
back there. We should smell Wendy's, because I have a
It's a
feeling
strong
he's
odor.
right through that wall too, because he's been hanging out right there. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Uncle Phil. What do you think? I'm thinking Uncle Phil over Andy Griffith.
All right. Well, yeah, he had. Yeah, I guess Andy Griffith did have some moments where he said some pretty dumb things to people, and then he thought about it later, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind kind of regret saying that.
No, that's also a dad that admits his mistakes.
That's true.
I mean, that's a tough one.
Man, I don't know. Who just texted me? I'm already back here, Trevor.
Oh, that's no good.
I don't have this number in my phone. I hope it's Levi, or that's creepy.
Yeah, that's real creepy.
Whoa.
Hopefully it's Levi.
Levi, if you texted me, I got your text message live on air.
Not that he's going to respond, but he responded to you live
Correct.
during a show, which is probably much better. I mean, that's a tough one. What do you think? Where am I? Andy Griffith maybe made some mistakes. Philip Banks. So where Uncle Phil wins for me
All right.
is he takes on a kid that's not his.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, and goes above and beyond. Not only does he, teach his rich and spoiled kids responsibility. Eventually, they pick it up eventually. But he takes Will under his wing, and Will turns out to be a pretty decent kid.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. As far as best shows to ever grace the face of television, I think Andy Griffith is still there. As far as lessons learned and stuff like that. But I think as far as this competition is concerned, Uncle Phil probably takes that one.
I would agree. Now,
All right.
I think we're going to leave it right there.
Yeah.
And I think we're just going to let you in the comments decide who is the ultimate TV dad in the championship, Mike Brady versus Uncle Phil. Let us know. That is a couple of powerhouses right there. And I thought about putting in like Archie Bunker and Al Bundy and some of these shows. I don't know anything about those shows because those were both before my time. My dad loves Al Bundy. In fact, my dad's spirit animal is Al Bundy. I'm pretty sure, in a good way. I think maybe he would appreciate that. So, that's my dad. But wanted to talk about dads because it is Father's Day, but also I wanted to talk briefly about, I wanted to kind of recap a little bit of Dustin's message on Sunday. Great message to dads.
Yep.
And if you saw our social media, we put out a little clip about what dads should be, building upon, all those good things. And so go check that out, share it. It's a great moment. Really, the whole message was fantastic. So thanks so much for Dustin for bringing that. And Caesar and I were joking on pre-show about when we do Mother's Day messages, it's always like, moms, you're doing better than you think you are. Moms are so wonderful. Appreciate your mothers. And it's like we get to Father's Day, and it's like, dads, get it together.
Yeah, Dustin's like, you're a dad. Act like it. Or
Yes.
you're a man. Act like it.
Do better.
Do better.
He also used the word sterilization, and I don't know. We're going to assume that was a mistake. But that's a great
Like
moment. So you should go back and
Clorox?
watch that. Yeah, probably something like that.
Sure.
I think it was a mistake. But you never know. That's just part of the fun. Part of the joy of, speaking live to people multiple times a day.
Yes.
Sometimes the wrong word comes out of your mouth. And, maybe end up on Worship Fails or YouTube and Preacher Fails and all those things.
Yes.
But he hit a couple of things that I just want to make sure we reiterate. And I reiterated this to my own group this week because we've got, some good dads some great dads in our group. And, I wanted to reiterate that because, part of our job as men is to, or really the main part of our job is to lead our families well.
Correct.
All right. And there's so much good that Dustin shared on Sunday. I wanted to make sure we hit it again. But Matthew 5:48 is the verse he based the whole message out of. And it starts with these two words that Dustin brought to us on Sundays. Be perfect. Right? And
Yeah.
man, tell you what, as a dad and as a man, that's something we strive for, right? And when we fail, it hurts, right?
Yes.
A lot of times we'll slough it off like, it's not a big deal, it's fine, act like we don't care. We care, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Especially as dads, like the thing that we want more than anything, like we want to succeed as dads, right? We want to raise our kids well. But Matthew 5:48 says this way, it says, be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Right? So he's given us, Jesus is giving a command, it's part of the Sermon on the Mount, he's giving a command to be perfect. And what I love is Dustin made this really great distinction because that is 100% impossible.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
It's a completely impossible task. It's like, why would God tell us to be perfect when he knows full well that we can't be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Well, he brought up this great point that, in the Greek, right, which is what pastors say when they Googled stuff. No shade at Dustin. He studies very hard. One of the smartest people I've ever met. So no
Logos
shade
Bible
to the boss.
Software. It's a
But
wonderful
also,
thing.
Dustin doesn't ever watch the show anyway. So ask
snap.
Dustin how many times he had to Google it to find the definition. Oh, man. I might be fired
Yeah.
by the time we're done
It was
with the
nice
show.
knowing you.
Yeah, it was great. So the original word in Greek is teleos. Okay, sorry to my Greek professor if I pronounce that incorrectly. Teleos, it's one of those. But it's actually, it has this definition. I just put just a little bit of it because we're not reading the whole definition on here. But, brought to its end or fully complete. Right? So it's got this whole connotation, whole idea of progressing, right? Becoming more and more like something, right? So what I love about that is if you look at what that word actually means, right? When he originally shared it, is brought to its end or become fully complete. So if we switch those words around a little bit, right? Because our definition, what Dustin shared, was when we say perfect, right? Think about, like he was talking about golf. I was thinking baseball, right? How many perfect games have there been in baseball, right?
Yeah.
Not many, very few. I wasn't a huge baseball fan growing up, but man, if you have a pitcher who's real hot and is on his way to a perfect game, what do you do?
Yeah. You leave him in.
Right. You leave him in and you don't
relieve
talk to that.
Yeah.
You don't talk to him. You don't say anything
he's in
about a
the
perfect
zone.
game. He is in the zone. He is focused.
Shout out Justin Verlander.
Good old
One of the
JV.
only pitchers to ever have 3 no-hitters.
With the Tigers.
Sorry.
With
Anyway.
the Tigers.
2 of them with the Tigers.
2 with the Tigers. All right. Good old Tigers.
Sorry.
I was kind of assuming. And then he left us for greener pastures. But, hey, that's all right. We'll live.
Sure.
But it has this whole idea of being brought to completion, right? Becoming who you were meant to be, right? And I love the way Dustin phrased this. It says, be completely different than those that are around you,
Yeah.
right? The reason a lot of those TV dads stick out is because a lot of them, in a lot of cases, they were flawed, right? They were certainly not perfect, but they were an ideal to strive for, right?
Yeah.
Because these are dads that were involved in their kids' lives, that sat down, talked with their kids, had heart-to-hearts, right? In classic 90s TV fashion, right? They sit down, especially in Full House. Full House was all about this, right? Boy Meets World did a lot too, but you didn't know that.
Guilty.
I had to get my shot in. So Full House, Danny sits down, at the edge of the bed, and is having this heart-to-heart conversation with one of his girls. The music swells, and it's like, oh, you know what's most important, or I'll always love you, and it's not because of blah blah blah. And he imparts some good fatherly wisdom, right?
Yeah.
But these dads are the reason they stood out. The reason they were such great dads is because that's
Nice.
that's
Sorry.
my kid. Owen makes weird faces on my iPad. I'm showing you, but you probably can't see.
Oh,
Oh,
you
that
can't
you can
see
see. Look at that. Thank you, Owen, for my background on my iPad. That, of course, they could see.
Of
Dang
course.
it. I'll figure that out for next time. But the reason these dads stuck out is because they were an ideal, right? They gave us something to strive for, an example, right, to strive for. Like, I want to be the dad that doesn't fly off the handle when my kids, don't do the thing that I've asked them to do 12 times, right?
Yeah.
Because did you see Danny Tanner do that? No.
No, you never see the bad moments.
I mean, Carl Winslow did that. He was kind of bad. Uncle Phil had a temper, too.
Uncle Phil.
You know what?
That's why I relate so much to him.
That might be why I relate to him, too.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Does that just mean that we're really good TV
Maybe
dads?
we're really good TV dads. That's
High
it.
five, bro.
Go up.
Yes.
Way to go. That is officially the thumbnail right there. Can we do a little freeze frame? No, you got to do it. You got to freeze frame it. I'm so sorry for people that watch this show. Look, I don't know why you watch. Thank you. I'm just very grateful that you watch.
Actually, what he means to say is we know exactly why you watch. We know our worth, and we know why you're here. It's because we're awesome.
Yes.
anyway,
That's
continue.
not true. But the thing that Dustin really drove home is, and this is one of the clips that we shared because I think it was kind of the crux of the message, is men have to have foundational strength. And that foundational strength has to be based in Christ.
Correct.
So it has to be based in your Heavenly Father. So that verse, Matthew 5:48, be perfect, right? Or be complete, be fully formed as your Heavenly Father is perfect. That's our goal. That's our ideal. That's what we strive for, right? Mm-hmm. So while you can certainly strive to be a good dad like Carl Winslow or Uncle Phil, they're certainly not flawless. I love my good friend Alan Matthews, not Jonathan. I mixed up his name. But we have these ideals that we have to strive for. And as men, this is what I want to challenge us with. Build your foundational strength on Christ. There's a great moment, that's why I shared it, because it's a great moment where Dustin called out, probably where a lot of men our age, our generation of men, are gaining foundational strength and foundational wisdom from podcasts. And by the way, a couple of podcasts that I listen to, right? They're worthy. I listen to Jordan Peterson. I listen to Joe Rogan, right? There's good things in there, right? But I'm not building my life on those things. Right? I don't listen to Andrew Tate. There's absolutely nothing worthwhile that Andrew Tate has to say.
Nothing.
Completely worthless. So Andrew Tate, come at us if you have things to say against us.
I'm sure he will see this.
Yeah, my friend Trevor will happily fight you. He's a Marine. But zero redeeming quality to build your life on from Andrew Tate. But the end goal is be perfect as your Heavenly Father is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Not be like other talking heads. Not even be like your own father, right? Certainly if you had a great father, use an example, right? Go for it. But the reason that great father is there, because he built his foundation on following Christ.
Yeah.
So men, gentlemen, guys,
countrymen,
people. Yeah, thank you. That's it. Friends, Romans, men, dudes, bros,
guys,
brodies, all those things. I want to leave us with this one quote that I heard last week. Last week, I got to serve all week long. I got to partner with our friends at the Church of Virginia Church of God. They held their camp meetings here, and they did this really cool soul health clinic for their pastors in the morning. And he kept using this phrase that I really love. So he's a psychologist and a pastor, but he's using this phrase when he talked about caring for people. And he said, you can't take people to a place that you don't live. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
You can't take people to a place that you don't live. So you can't invest in the foundational strength of your kids if you don't have foundational strength built in Christ. Right? So you can't expect, and this is something Dustin brought to us on Sunday as well, you can't expect your kids to follow Christ and be deeply rooted in the Word if you aren't.
Yeah.
So men, that's our responsibility. That's our burden to bear, okay? Moms, you got your own responsibilities to bear, but men, I'm telling you right now, you have a scriptural, God-given responsibility and burden to raise your kids in Christ.
That's right.
And that's what we need to strive for. And man, when we see that, I don't even remember the statistics, but there is some crazy statistic that y'all could look up right now, that when a father comes to Christ, when a husband comes to Christ, basically the entire family follows.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's a giant change.
Right. I can't remember if I was better at this and more prepared. I would tell you what the stat is. But, man, men coming to Christ, men taking the charge in bringing their families to church and making their kids or getting their kids plugged in and involved, and doing that and leading by example makes all the difference in your family.
Yeah.
So, men, that's what I want us to strive for. I want us to just be encouraged by that. Number one, men, you're doing a lot of right things already, right? I told a new dad one time, he was getting ready to have his first kid, and he was nervous, and not that I have much great wisdom to bestow, but I don't know where this came from, but it was good in this moment, so I keep telling it. So it was, you know what? The number one thing that you can do is show up, right? Yeah. As dads, the number one thing you can do is to show up, right? Because if you can figure that part out, then you can probably figure the other stuff out. But you got to show up, and that means not on your phone, That means being present. That means playing basketball in the driveway and getting beaten by your 14-year-old sometimes, which he still brags endlessly about because he beat me bad, too. It was not great.
Oh, really?
It's not my best moment.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's not great, which means the next time we play, he's going to catch a few more elbows. The ref is not going to be on the court. So, but men, lead your families well. Build your foundational strength on Christ. And that's the challenge for us today. And gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you, go back and watch that message again on Sunday. You can skip through parts of it if you want to, but go back and watch that message. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on our app, which is, I'll tell you, our app is the best way to catch all of our content. All of our media ends up there. All the services ends up there. So go back and watch all of those. It's a great thing just to go back and listen to. The messages end up on Apple and Spotify podcasts as well. But look for your foundational strength in Christ, not in other things. That's where we're going to end it. Make sure you comment. Let us know who the ultimate TV dad is.
Yep.
Between Mike Brady and Uncle Phil. Right? Is that that's who we landed on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike Brady and Uncle Phil. Kind of two different generations there. But yeah, let us know in the comments who is the ultimate TV dad. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Midweek Motivation. Have a great week and stay blessed.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy Midweek Motivation.